And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Kathleen Garito is in the house. Welcome.
Good morning, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it. While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You've got to find something in this day and age to celebrate, because if you watch the news, you're going to go crazy. It's not a good thing to do on a regular basis. You know, a little moderation. You need to keep up with what's going on in the world. But, you know, a lot of times the news does like to sensationalize things. And we're going to talk quite a bit about that today, because we're also going to talk about how do you solve the problem. Because today, ironically enough, we never know what is going to be on the celebration of the day list, but we've got 6 items that are on our celebration of the day, and I'm going to share every one of them with you today, because the first one on there is National Take a Walk in the Park Day. Remember social distancing. You've got to get out there and get some exercise. Otherwise, you're going to be a little oversized, or in my case, a lot oversized. So get out there, take a walk, go around the block, social distancing, be careful, listen to what the officials are telling you to do. Don't go to the beach. I just saw that somebody got a $1,000 ticket because they went on a closed beach yesterday. National Doctors Day today. We are certainly appreciative of the doctors out there right now doing a great job. I Am in Control Day. Today is National I Am in Control Day. National Pencil Day. I don't know what you're going to do with the pencil, so we'll give that one the buzzer. National Turkey Neck Soup Day. Having beaten anorexia, there's a lot of things I like. Turkey neck soup, I don't know about that one. So usually I just go with something that's edible for our celebration of the day. But today, being in the scenarios that we are, we're going to go with National Virtual Vacation Day. We can do almost everything virtually today, so that's a nice thing. We did have, and I must admit, of all of the social media things that I watch, and I have, you know, there's a couple of people that follow us. I've got 7 followers now. So we were one of the first that I noticed that had a Zoom happy hour. Right? We did that about a week and a half ago, a Zoom happy hour. It was 4 to 6 p.m. I brought the Zoom, you brought the booze, yeah, do whatever you want. And nobody was checking IDs, so we did have that on our Zoom call that day. I am waiting for tomorrow when it will be National Tater Tot Day. But I digress. Let's go on and look at what's going on in the markets. Again, very, very volatile markets. The Dow Jones Industrial Average right now, it is up, or at least it was when my screen just popped away from me. So up 367 points, S&P 500 up 50 points, NASDAQ up 173 points. Oil down again, $1.18 a barrel. Yeah, that is a little bit painful. And also we're watching rates for you. Now, I did share with you in the last broadcast what's going on in the interest rate environment. There are a lot of lenders that, quite frankly, are going to be out of business very shortly. Now, you would say, well, Ron, the interest rates are going down. Why would the lenders be going out of business? Well, because the bonds are going up. The Federal Reserve is buying them to push them up, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. If you did not get our email that went out over the weekend talking about insights, what's happening in the mortgage market, what's happening in the bond market, send me an email, ron@ronsiegelradio.com. Very simple, ron@ronsiegelradio.com. We'll send that to you. It'll tell you exactly why interest rates on mortgage home loans have not come down as much as one would expect. And I know I see all the same dumb commercials on TV that are advertising 2.875. Yeah, if you've got 50% equity in a 15-year mortgage, you can probably get that in a 835 FICO score. 850 is perfect. If you got anything higher than 850, that's a Vantage score. It's not a FICO score. So I see all of those things. They are not going to deliver. And I know people say, oh, Ron, how do you know they're not going to deliver? Because I lead a lending team. So I understand what's going on in the mortgage market. I talk to hundreds and hundreds of people around the country over the weekend. Probably over the last 10 days, I've been on probably 5 calls with people around the country. Each call's had about 1,000 people on it. They're usually on Zoom. They're usually at crazy hours when most normal people would not be dealing with these things. But constantly talking about the idea of what's going on in the marketplace. Why is this happening? Why are we not seeing interest rates as strong as we would think they would be? And I've shared that with you. I've shared with you why it's happening. I've shared with you when this will resolve itself. If you didn't catch that, just drop me an email. I'll send you the videos or whatever you want to know about it. But what are you wanting to know right now? Because what is the most scary thing in our environment? And yeah, I understand the virus is out there, and I understand everybody's got their hair on fire over this virus. And I did notice this morning, first time I've seen this, maybe you saw it before me, that it's almost 2 to 1 now, the people that have recovered from the coronavirus to the people that have passed from the coronavirus. And I understand, don't send me the messages saying, well, one life is too many. I agree with you. We don't want anybody to lose their life, but we also don't want to watch it. And I saw some stupid reporter ask the president yesterday, how do you know that people will die from depression? Well, if the stupid reporter had done any homework, they would have looked and studied. And I know I'm old, but I was not around during the Great Depression. But you know how many suicides there were during the Great Depression? There was mass suicide at that time. Why? Well, because people were afraid. They couldn't feed their family. They were losing their life fortune. They were losing their houses. They were losing their jobs. Does it sound familiar? And why do you think the president has brought that up? Well, he doesn't want it to happen again, because we've had 144,000 instances of the coronavirus in the U.S. That's confirmed cases. Now think about it, and I'm getting all these statistics. You don't have to say, Ron, where do you get your numbers from? Johns Hopkins University and Medicine. It's one of the best resources out there. You can go to Johns Hopkins University, put in coronavirus. It gives you a map of what's going on. In Los Angeles County, 2,147 confirmed cases, 37 deaths. Now and I understand if you're one of those families that is part of that 37, you're scared. I get it. But here's the issue. If you're one of the other, 15 million people in Los Angeles that is now sheltering in place, watching their 401ks cut in half, not being able to make a mortgage payment, you're a little bit more worried than the average person. I get it. But take a look at what's going on. And I had the numbers here for Orange County. Let's see if I can get those to pop up. That's Riverside County, Los Angeles. I don't know why I can't get Orange County to pop up on my screen, but we'll get them for you in a minute. San Diego, I know where it is. There it is. Orange County, California. Now think about this. Nobody's going to work, right? We have 431 cases in Orange County, California, with 4 deaths. 431 cases. There's 15 million people under the sound of my voice right now, or at least under a coverage map. I know not 15 million are listening. We probably have 7, and Mindy said she wasn't going to listen today, so it's probably 6 today, right? So 431 cases. So don't get too crazy over this. And as Ronald Reagan says, the government's on their way, be careful. Right? So we do have the information of what's coming out. I'm sharing it on the screen for you right now. Individuals earning up to $75,000 a year, yes, you'll be eligible to get that check coming from the government, $1,200. Reduced checks go out to individuals making up to $99,000 a year. The payment amount falls by $5 for every 100 over that $75,000 number. Married couples, $2,400 up to $150,000, as long as you've paid taxes, and that's where the IRS gets the information. So we've got all that information right there on the screen for you. You don't have to do anything for that. If you are a small business owner, yes, realtors, that would be you. Right? If you're getting a 1099 check, there are services available. Give us a call, 800-306-1990. We're actually going to put together a team that can help you do the applications for this. CPAs, lawyers, small business owners, interior designers, right? These are all folks that are part of this small business package. And it just so happens a fraternity brother of mine is very, very involved and understanding of what goes on at the SBA. He's going to help you. He's going to help the listeners of Ron Siegel Radio. We're going to put together, again, a whole team that can help us do all these different things. So give us a call. Again, 800-306-1990. Help is on the way. We are watching all of that for you. You can reach out to me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com. So today, what we're going to do, best advice does not mean perfect advice. We try to give you the best we can, but we're going to talk about that. If you need to sell your house, how do you prepare it to sell it in an environment like this? It is a very, very unique environment. So we're going to talk about how you can deal with that in today's environment, not next month's or next year's. We're talking about how you deal with that from the world today. So we'll get that information to you. Kathleen is going to help us with that because you still got to make your house look attractive. So we're going to chat about that as well. And we'll give you some more resources for who is going to qualify for different types of stimulus payments. All that and more. You can reach me again anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few. We are clear. Star Mortgage, when you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. Just give me a call at 800-306-1990. We will help you. So there are folks out there right now, just because the coronavirus is affecting real-time number, 431 confirmed cases in Orange County, 427 still active. They don't talk about how many are recovered, although I did notice that Prince Charles was just announced today that he is recovered and out moving freely. But you may still need to have a job. You may still have if you have a job, you may have a job change. You might be needing to move. You might be needing to sell your house, upsize, downsize, right size, whatever. Maybe you're looking to go to the beach. Maybe you're looking to retire. Maybe you know your job's not coming back and you're just saying, hey, you know something? I am done. I'm retired. End of story. How do you sell your house in this day and age? Well, realtors were just identified as being an essential employee. Lenders have been. I don't know. Are home stagers an essential?
Or interior designers?
Interior designers?
Kind of a gray area.
Gray area, okay. But you still need to make your house look good, because I'm talking to a lot of real estate professionals and they're saying, well, we can do a Zoom or we can do a virtual tour. But do you want to do a virtual tour of, pardon the impression, a pig pen? And I know what my room looks like, my office looks like when I've been there for all these days. Right, and I don't wish that on anybody. Right, Kathleen Garito, KG Interior Designs, is with us. You showed me some pictures of places that kind of scary, right? Good morning.
So good morning. So we have this virtual thing going on, which I think is absolutely fabulous. But in order to do that, the house has to look amazing.
Right.
So I've been live on Facebook watching other realtors showing some homes, and some of them look really fabulous, and then some of them I can't see past the stuff. And right now in today's day and age, we've always had to look great, but we need to even look better. The presence of social media has to be amazing when we're trying to launch these homes, because we have a very small window now. We can't really physically walk through all the time. We can't do open houses.
Right.
So when you go live, that house has to be prestige, like just look amazing. And that's why right now we're offering virtual staging, meaning I'll consult via Facebook or Zoom just to help the realtors make sure that that house looks absolutely stunning by the time they're ready to launch it virtually.
So I get the idea of the virtual launch, and I get the idea of making it look great and the virtual tours. I understand all of that. Mm-hmm. But how do you stage it or design it? I mean, are you actually going in and doing your normal services, or are you telling somebody else, the homeowner or the realtor, how to do that?
I think right now we have to kind of stay at home and stay safe.
Right.
If they're vacant, we have been working on them, but there's certain steps to make sure that we're safe going into them. Most of them are owner occupied at this point, so it's a matter of working with the realtor and the seller to make sure we do a nice walkthrough with them as we're seeing the space and telling them what to declutter, what to add, what to remove, so that when they go live and they have photos taken, the house looks amazing.
Isn't it fascinating what we've come to in our world of technology?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, just the idea that you're able to see a property. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm assuming that they've got to still have a photographer come in. Mm-hmm. After they consult with you and clean out the pantry or clean the sink and the kitchen dishes or whatever. Right. But then they've still got to have a photographer come in. And again, this is one of those times that I should have had Laith come in with us. We have a great photographer that does what I call it a Matterport tour, a virtual tour on steroids. Mm-hmm. Right. So that you can actually look and I think you can almost measure the property, the rooms, based on a virtual tour.
And it shows you on the Matterport, and it shows you the whole floor plan. You can look at the first floor, second floor. And I've always been a very, very big fan of Matterport. But again, I always said, when that first opened up, everybody was doing it. But if that house doesn't look pristine and it's not, certain areas are not repaired that need to be repaired, everything is going to be seen and exposed. So you really have to make sure it looks like a model home. It doesn't have to have the furniture of a model home, but it just has to look clean and tidy.
Well, that's something you've chatted with me about in the past is getting rid of the clutter, decluttering, mm-hmm. and I would assume that that's something you can really do a good job of virtually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
For me to walk through with a client, it's super easy. They want to send us photos. It's easy for me to type up things for them to get rid of room by room, you know.
So is that how you're basically doing it now? Is you doing it with photos, or are you doing it with like a FaceTime or Zoom?
It depends on the package or budget of a client. We're even doing design. So if I get floor plans and they need furniture spec'd out, I can do that too. I can.
Wow.
I just did a walkthrough with a client on FaceTime with her and her husband. And they're sending me floor plans, they're sending me how the space is laid out, and then I can lay out the furniture scale for them, and then I can also spec out the furniture. And we're doing all of this virtual right now.
So the thing that confuses me a little bit, and I'm easily confused because I'm a simple guy, right, is when you say virtually, you're doing it what I would, as a simple guy, I would call it remote.
Remote.
Okay. Right? Because when I think virtual, I'm saying, are they actually just manipulating the pictures with the design items that you're putting in? Because I've seen some of those things, those tools, where you can put in the sizes of a room, and then somebody that knows what they're doing can bring and say, okay, this is the couch that we're going to put here, and this is the coffee table, and it's all to scale, but it's not really there.
All 3D.
Right.
So it's more remote.
Okay.
It's more of walking them through, and then.
So you're basically saying, okay, Ron, get rid of the dirty dishes and get rid of the picture of your trip to Maui 25 years ago.
Right.
And, put a flower vase over here, or a light fixture.
Setting.
Oh, what setting?
Place setting.
Okay.
Make sure that you have all your lights on, and that the house looks nice and bright.
So you're getting the house all set for that photographer to come in and do a fantastic job.
Correct. Yes.
And you're saying do that before you go live.
Oh, absolutely. Because you want that best first impression. Once again, it's like when the client comes through, right? The buyers come through and they open up the door. This is, as soon as they see you go live, this is what they're firsthand seeing. So it really has to look absolutely beautiful.
So you want to make sure that you're getting that all done in firsthand. And I'm the first to admit that I don't even know what end of a screwdriver to use. So, and I'm going to guess that most of you don't really do a whole lot of interior design work. And maybe I'm wrong, but most of you don't. So that's the idea of hiring somebody that really knows how to do it. And something, it may be that this is the way of the future. We're talking about a lot of things in business that are going to go virtual, right? And it could be this is the way of the future. We don't know that, but we're going to continue our conversation with Kathleen Garito, KG Interior Designs. When we come back, you're also going to talk about the best advice does not mean perfect advice. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few. We are clear.
Okay,
nice.
So I'm glad you brought up that virtual and remote, because everybody's using it in all different texts.
Right.
So virtual open house, really a remote, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the challenges that we have to deal with all the time is terms that we use or that are converting terms, right? So Jay Kaplan comes in here and he hates the term reverse mortgage. So he calls it a home equity conversion mortgage, which is technically true. So, but nobody understands what the heck that is, right? So even though you understand it, you know that that's the right name.
Right.
If people don't understand it, it's worthless.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad you said that, because I said virtual and Debbie said remote, because she was helping me write some of my stuff that we've been launching out. And so that's why it was like, maybe we just keep the remote, and the remote will be understood clearly.
Yeah.
And my other thing is too, with all these people staying at home with the news, shut the news off. Let's look at each room. Let's spruce it up. Let's make it your sanctuary. You know what I'm saying? Let's make it a happy place for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing this for a while.
Yeah.
the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. If you already found your dream home, text SLT Home Digest, SLT Home Digest, to 79564. You will be able to find there exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, what the market thinks about your property. All that information is right there for you. It's going to come to you once a month. It's one of the best emails that we have that we send out. We get about 95% of the people open that every single month to see exactly what's going on their real estate. The best advice does not mean perfect advice. Do you ever really? I mean, it's amazing. I go back because I listen to way too much news so I can share the important things with you. Some of the reporters that go to the daily press conference of the president, how can you guarantee that this is going to work? Well, the answer is nobody can guarantee. You get the best advice possible. That's what you can guarantee is the best guidance that anybody knows. And that's what we do here on Ron Siegel Radio. And when you're talking about real estate, the angst caused by the coronavirus has most people on edge regarding both their health and their financial situations. It's at times like these when we want exact information about anything we're doing, even the correct protocol for grocery shopping. That information brings knowledge, and this gives you a sense of relief and comfort. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home today, the same need for information is very real, but because it's such a big step in our lives, that desire for clear information is even greater in the home buying or selling process. Given the current level of overall anxiety, we want that advice to be truly perfect. The challenge is no one can give you perfect advice. It doesn't happen. Experts can, however, give you the best possible advice. Let's say you need an attorney. So you seek out an expert in the type of law required for your case. When you go to his or her office, they won't immediately tell you how the case is going to end or how the judge or jury will rule. If she could or he could, that would be perfect advice. What a good attorney can do, however, is discuss with you the most effective strategies you can take. He or she may recommend one or two approaches they believe will be the best for your case. They'll then leave it to you to make the decision on which option you want to pursue. Once you decide, they can help you put a plan together based on facts at hand. She'll help you achieve the best possible resolution and make whatever modifications in the strategy are necessary to guarantee that outcome. That's an example of the best advice possible. The role of a real estate professional is just like the role of the lawyer. An agent can't give you perfect advice because it's impossible to know exactly what's going to happen throughout the transaction, especially in this market. I'll tell you, for instance, I get updates from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, USDA, VA about changes in the lending process every single day. I'm getting them all the time. So just be aware that's kind of where the market is right now, and it's going to continue to happen. Nothing can change that. And I wish I could change the fact that my computer is making all these dumb noises at me right now. And thankful that people are calling and wanting information, but unfortunately I can't get all of it to shut off during the broadcast. But let me finish what my thought was here for you. On perfect advice, you're just not going to get it. Bottom line, if you're thinking of buying or selling, give us a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And again, some of that data, some of that advice that we like to give you, because again, we can't give you perfect advice, is some of the information that we're sharing this morning. Kathleen Garito, KG Interior Design, is with us, getting your house ready. So we talked a little bit earlier, Kathleen, about the idea of getting your house prepared and getting that consultation. How does that all work? Can you explain how that process goes for me so we can understand when we call you, what do we need to have prepared?
So there's two different formats. And it, again, depends on budget and packages and stuff like that. But the client will call me and we'll figure out what their needs are, what their budget is. If they need something quick and fast, they'll send me a bunch of photos and I'll break it down by room, type up the report, send it to them, and we can go over it real quick if they have any questions. And it's a nice little to-do list per room of what they can get done by themselves. or we can do via FaceTime or Zoom, and we can walk through each space, which is great because I can physically see 4 full walls in a room, and I can see the space for what it is. Because sometimes photos, there's things left out, or you
I was going to ask you which way is better.
Yes,
Is it
so I think
the live video?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
that works a lot better. Like I said, I just did a design project for a client furnishing her house, and we did it via FaceTime with her and her husband, and that was super easy.
Yeah, I would think that would be a whole lot easier, just because most of us tend to, because we don't know any better, right? We stand in the doorway and take a picture, and what we get is a nice picture of the furthest corner away from us and don't see anything else.
Right, yeah, so it's much, much better if we do FaceTime or Zoom. It just depends what's easier for the client.
Okay, so, and then you send out a to-do list. You get the honeydew?
So then we go through room by room, and then either I can type up the report or they're taking their own notes. It just depends how much they want me to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they do it, and then do they come back afterward and show you a before and after type of thing?
So some do and some don't. If they want to send me photos and say, I'm not sure, did I do all this right? I will totally look at it and give them feedback, because I want, once that house hits the MLS and they go live with it.
Multiple listing service.
Yeah, I want it to look beautiful.
Right. And that's a key thing there, because a lot of us, we think we understand what you said.
Right.
Right. It's basically just an interpretation of what we thought. Right, other than the fact that you're giving out the to-do list, or if you do the report yourself, it says table 1, put flower pot 2, which I can almost follow those instructions.
Right, and usually when I go through the detailed report with them and we go through it together, 99% of them, their homes look amazing when I go and look at the photos once they've gone on the MLS.
So the next question I would have then is, I know in historically, when we're not in these crazy times that we're in right now, is you have a lot of the materials needed. Furnishings and
accessories.
Yeah, those are the terms. I'm just a simple guy here. I got a microphone and a stylus. Okay, so do you still provide those type of tools for people that need them?
Yeah, and we're going day by day with what we're being ordered to do. So vacant properties are super easy for us. As long as they're cleaned and completely empty, we can bring our stuff in. At this point,
right.
Make them look beautiful. Owner occupied, we're on a day-to-day basis trying to figure that out, bringing stuff in, having contact with the client. I want to make sure I have a team of designers that, their safety is first as well as our clients that we're working for. So it's day-to-day, things are changing. We'll go in one day and then being told that we can't do that. So that's why I think being remote too gives us more options to help more clients.
And again, it's a big issue, because how many people are in different areas of the marketplace, right? I mean, and different stages, because we've got people that we have to be careful of who have the asthma and the health issues, right? So we want to be cognizant, because even though I gave you numbers that don't sound like the world's coming to an end like some of the media tells us, we just don't know.
Right, and I try to stay safe with my clients.
Sure.
In the 55+ communities that we're working with, because they're more cautious right now, rightfully so.
And they should be, exactly.
Yeah, and so we're doing more of leave things at the door, pull things for them, leave them at the door, and we're able to still do business as usual, but just not as much contact.
Business as usual, but not the same type of business.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's a changing world. We're all changing. We're all having to adapt. But the thing that's not changing is the need that some people have, that they've got to get a house, right? Or they've got to sell a house, or they've got to do something because of their unique situation. And I see, a restaurant here in Anaheim Hills. I saw it's been in business 30 years. They said, we're done. We're just where a lot of restaurants have scaled back or whatnot. Right. They just said, something, we're not going to fight it this time, right? And you hate to see that happen, but it is reality, right? So maybe that family needs to sell a house. Maybe that family needs to get a new house. All of his employees are suffering as well, right? Yeah. So there may be some housing needs. And what we're doing here this morning is we're just trying to give you some ideas as to how do you help people in those arenas? How do you help people do these things? How do you help solve these different problems? We're going to come back more with Kathleen Garito when we come back. We might have a couple of other topics for you. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few. We are clear.
Yeah, it breaks my heart, people closing their doors.
Yeah. This is always fun. I always love when people do this.
What's that?
People that know that I do radio, know that I'm on the air, and then call during the showtime.
Of course I do.
Yeah. '06, 1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. Just wanted to show you this chart. We've got it up on our screen right now so you can see it. Hopefully you're seeing us on RonSiegelRadio.tv. This happens to be a chart that just came out in the last few days from Goldman Sachs. And it's basically showing the idea of what their forecast is for our country, gross domestic product. This is basically the output of our country. And yeah, they say that the first quarter, which obviously ends tomorrow, is going to show a negative 6%. January and February are pretty good. And obviously we dropped off that cliff for March. But second quarter, they're showing a huge drop, 24% drop in, or negative 24% GDP. But look what happens, according to their forecast, in the third and fourth quarters. Now, like I shared in the last segment, nobody is perfect, and forecasters by sure are rarely perfect. But if you look at this based on their numbers of this report that came out on the 24th of March, so it's relatively current data. You know, we see all kinds of data that comes out on a regular basis, and most of it is outdated because it's collected and then presented over time. right? So when we see the jobs report that comes out on Friday, it's probably not going to be very, very misleading, just because it's dealing with mostly numbers from before all of this changes have taken place. So I just want to get that out there for you. We're looking at a very, very strong second half of the year. Again, if their numbers hold as the forecast, and Goldman Sachs, obviously, very, very reputable company. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, again, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. One of the things, if you could hear us during the break, you'd hear some of these different issues that Kathleen and I have chatted about. And a lot of them have to do with business, but they also have to do with life in general. And Kathleen and I are both dealing with your largest asset. Well, you deal with the asset. I deal with the liability, right? I mean, but you're dealing with, we have to really be careful right now, especially because I should just ask you, are you seeing people that are operating more from a sense of fear than they are from a sound knowledge base? When you're talking to people doing your consults, are they really level-headed by the time they're coming to you?
I think most of them are, and I think it's the realtor who's educating them and giving them insight and staying positive that the clients, the sellers, are more optimistic and positive. We'll get through this, we'll see what happens. But for the ones that, before this all hit, made all these investments, meaning staging, painting, carpet, I mean, they're going to thrive this week because they're all going live on the MLS. They're going to thrive, looking beautiful. It was like one of the best investments, and they're just, both of them are very positive about it.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And again, you need to have a great real estate professional helping you as well. Again, one of the things I'm loving right now is, I shouldn't love the fact that I love the fact that we've told you right along, don't go with these iBuyer programs and these the Zillows and all these others that are the discounters. I love the fact that we've given you that guidance all the way along, and those of you that have listened to us are going to really benefit right now, because a lot of real estate agents, you see a few of them, and I don't know about your situation, Kathleen. The vast majority of the real estate agents I come across are probably 40 plus years old. Mm-hmm. And so they've seen what happened in 2008. They saw what happened in 2000. Some are old enough as me. They've seen in 1987. We saw a stock market like this. And they start realizing that, something, the world's not coming to an end, that the United States is a very, very strong country, that we've beaten everything in the past and we'll beat this too. Mm-hmm. And that this is not going to be a long-term event.
And that's what I'm hearing too.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so the idea here is listen to those real estate professionals. And I'll share with you just my personal opinion. It is just one person's opinion. Right? If you are getting involved in doing a real estate transaction, you want to talk to professionals. You're going to need to this is not a time for amateurs. This is not a time to guess. And some of the best professionals, the most successful professionals that I see in the marketplace, they understand that you need professional guidance all the way along the line. And that includes getting your property ready to sell, right? I mean, getting somebody like yourself, and it's interesting because my guess, and I don't want to speak for you, but 60 days ago, it probably was not part of your business plan to be doing remote consultations, right? But you've had to be able to adapt to help people, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what your job really is helping the community.
Right. And you have to just think of different ways to do business, trying to do business the same way. It just has to be a different process.
Sure.
And giving them the same result.
There you go, getting the same result. And again, it has to be done by somebody that is experienced.
Correct.
Right. And you're looking at something a little different in this day and age, because a lot of people thought they could sell their house on their own. They could put a sign out. The market was hot. There was no inventory. Now there's going to be some inventory. There's going to be some challenges. You're going to need to count more on the internet, even though than we did before. And we know the stats, 92% of the people start their home search online. Right. But now, so a lot of those people are going to end their home search online. Mm-hmm. right? And having that beautiful home that looks that you can get the real appeal of it.
And it's funny you say 92% because 92% of buyers cannot see past stuff. So if it's cluttered, if it's an older home, if the photos aren't taken well and it doesn't map out what the house looks like, they can't see past it. Only 8% can. So it's a very, very small window, and that's why it's so critical to make sure it looks extremely beautiful.
Yeah, can you imagine a house that has oversized and too much furniture in the dining room or living room, and people are saying, well, that's not going to fit my family.
Right.
Yet if they took some of that stuff out, wow, that would be perfect.
The footage would grow. Like it would look huge. It would look like it doubled in size.
Exactly. And I just put a chart on the screen there, again, for those of you watching RonSiegelRadio.tv or watching us on the Facebook stream, showing what house prices do. So, we might see a house price dip. We're not going to see that 19.7% dip that we saw in 2008, I don't believe. But I think we're going to still see a home appreciation because, again, right now, and I'll defer to you here as well, Kathleen, are you having a lot of agents call you that they're swamped?
About 2 weeks ago, yes. And now it's starting to ramp up a little bit.
Is it okay?
Yeah. Now it's starting to get a little people. I'm seeing things on Facebook. I'm seeing realtors telling them to wait 30 days, and then I'm seeing some of them that are running with it and getting it prepared and getting it on the MLS and not holding off on it. I personally, I'm not a realtor, but I think get it on as soon as possible so that when the gates do open, you're all prepared and ready to go.
And I noticed that the social media marketing that we do to help real estate professionals is getting a huge traction right now. So I'm seeing a lot of people hitting those links saying, hey, send me more information. And, I don't study the pictures, but I know a good picture from a bad picture. Right. And I'm really can't stress enough. Get your houses professionally prepared. Right. And I don't know what it costs. That's not my part of the program. We're here to educate you. Is get your house prepared. Get great preparation. Make it looking as best as it possibly can. I'm not saying go and spend $1 million on remodeling or anything like that. Fit your budget. But then do that. Get great pictures. This is not a time for your do-it-yourself photography class. Get somebody that knows exactly what they're doing on those photos. Get an agent that has a marketing plan for a digital marketing plan. Right? You got to have it on Instagram and Facebook and all these other, again, on Nest, where we help you with that. All these different areas. So make sure you're doing all those things. And then get the success, the best possible success for the time frame that you need, right? And you got to talk to the professionals, right? And do you do most of your work direct with the consumer, or does it come by way of the realtors?
Either way.
Okay.
Either one.
Okay. So you can reach out directly to Kathleen, or call me 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch. Great real estate professionals know to call Kathleen. That's just the bottom line. And as always, we ask you set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.